Me is what he's thinking. Well, will be that closing stages of the race. 3 different winners, of course, in the last 3 visits. Lynn Jarvis will be hoping they can make it back-to-back wins here. Well, he knows the way to the top step of the to go in the MotoGP race in September, and he's the big favourite here as we're about to get underway. Here, the Monster Energy Grand Prix of Catalunya. Our eyes to the centre of the
picture and the light. Come on, this could be perfect for him. But here comes Miller again. He's catching back up. He's going to try and outbreak him. He does. Miller exactly where he wanted to be. It looks like Miguel Oliveira got away exceptionally well as well too. He did forgot the dream, launched off the line, but he's been knocked back to third. That was a great move from Oliveira. Very brave indeed to go up into. Who's had a disastrous start for him. He's losing places already. Zarco is in wide. He's a bit messy on the exit, but what a start for the world champion. Yeah, what happened to Pecco Bagnaia? He's looking. Yeah, Zarco's getting beaten up, isn't he, on this opening lap? Oliveira, he's not even close enough to attack the inside of the Portuguese man as well. Maverick Vinales up the inside there of Brad Binder. That's for 7th place. Astra start. He's down to 10th. Rossi, likewise, his teammate lost quite a few places. The Taldarco 11th. He's not going to capitalise at all on that. On the exit there, onto the start straight. A bit of a wobble from Miller and Oliveira, but he cannot outbreak Thriller Miller into turn 1. What a first lap from the world champion. Oh, that's tight there. Place and hounding Quartararo through turn 3. Great start for Iker Lecuona as well. He's up to 11th after. So there is Maverick Vinales, the Monster Energy Yamaha rider, behind Johan Zarco. Wide there for Miller. That allows me to turn 5 just to hold on to P2. Yeah, Quartararo will hear that factory. And now he's going to lose positions to Mir and Aleix Espargaro. Just getting a little bit impatient there on Miller, wasn't he? Through turn different manufacturers here inside the top 5. Quartararo drops down to 5th. It's Oliveira that leads. He's had a couple of close looks at the inside of the Spanish man ahead of him, but no way through at the moment. Oliveira then still leads as they bring you onto the 1 kilometre start-finish straight. Oliveira on the KTM from Miller, Mir, and Aleix Espargaro to get Miller at turn 7. Aleix Espargaro is the fastest rider on circuit on his Aprilia RSGP in 4th place here, and he needed to after a really poor first lap. He's the fastest man on circuit by a mile, a 40 quicker than anybody else on the circuit. So Bagnaia started to recover that early lost ground. Miller late on the brake and start-finish straight. Yeah, that was the. He's got it back. He's got it back at turn 5. So using the better braking and turn, he made the mistake on the previous lap, getting up the inside of Miller. That cost him places to Aleix Espargaro and Mir. This is himself. Then it was scrappy on exit. He went into green and he lost 2 places, lost all of his momentum. So he's got more work. Marquez to cut through. Me. And he got railroaded there by Brad Binder. Well, he came back on. Everybody fighting for the same piece of tarmac. 2 bikes into one just doesn't work out. You can see Vinales with a big look over his seated. Can Zarco get in Quartararo's slipstream and blitz him on the start finish straight yet again? Just as he did previously, 0.594 from the Portuguese man. That was 3/10 quicker than Miller on that last lap. On board with the world champion João Miguel Oliveira then. So far so good. He's got brilliant rhythm. Definitely got the pace to break away. Crucial. Bagnaia through goes Brad Binder. What a start this has been for Marc Marquez as well. He's closing in on this group. Look at the number 9. From Marc Marquez, we knew he was going to be aggressive, didn't we? Quartararo's got to find a couple of tenths to get back on par with Joan Mir. Brilliant ride at the moment by the man we're looking at here in Barcelona. And he's got through on Miller at turn 10. On the cutback though, Miller comes back through. He's desperate to get through here on Miller because he knows he's got nothing for the Ducati on that start finish straight. Couldn't be slipstreamed by Miller, but Montecatics and Aprilia will never in a million years outdrag a Ducati. And it's in the fastest lap of the race for good measure as well. On the approach to turn 1, Joan Mir uses the slipstream of the Aprilia in Quartararo. Marquez is now up to 6th. This is looking a little bit like the old Marc Marquez again. The issues with front tyre pressure or temperature. Quartararo gets through on Aleix Espargaro into turn 4. Oliveira, Quartararo has decided it's time to move. Yeah, Oliveira is where Quartararo thought he would be throughout the race. Quartararo now desperately trying to find a way through on Joan Mir. There's the lead from the helicopter. Crashed out. The difficult start to 2021 unfortunately continues. There's no home glory for Pop. Through turn number 11, there was no way through. Top 10 have all just broken away slightly from Max Marquez. It's not got any better for Valentino Rossi either. He's outside the points at the moment. He's 1 place 1-3. He was the slowest man on the circuit. I don't know if something happened to Rossi on that lap number 4. And Marc Marquez, Aleix Espargaro running into some drama there. Maybe just out breaking himself into turn 1. Oh, isn't it? The Marquez that came to the start of 2020 in Jerez before he suffered that horrendous right humerus error through turn number 4. And back through goes Aleix Espargaro as well. Some fantastic battle. Vinales, Binder and Bagnaia. This is more Moto3 than MotoGP. The problem is, while they're engaging in a prop drop behind Mir and Quartararo, what has happened to the Aussie? The lead now for Oliveira is the second. Tucci, who's just gone out. Fast old crash at turn 9. Iker Lecuona went down there in Q1 hard yesterday. This becomes called, unfortunately. Fastest lap of the race, Fabio Quartararo. As we look right, moves up 1 spot into 6th. Yeah, I mean, Miller was a full second slower than Quartararo. Quartararo then now makes pretty light work of Joan Mir. Quartararo has had so far. Now he's got some clear air. He'll probably try and just get into those 139. He was only a 10th quicker than Oliveira on that last lap was Fabio Quartararo, but now he hasn't got to worry about finding a way. Helicopter view of the battle for seconds. What happened to Jack Miller? So folks, 6 different manufacturers inside the top 7. That's excellent. at the moment, I'm sure, are pretty happy with what they're seeing. Oliveira it is that leads the gap.
As those do that KTM, Oliveira was able to take 3 tenths out of Quartararo in sectors 1 and 2, and then so he was again just not quite as quick as Quartararo, but very, very close.
Now, further back through the order, Zarco's still 5th behind Miller, then it's a later top 10. That's the group that you can see, and then further back there, Iker Lecuona leads the second pack. Franco Morbidelli, no, he's got.
Yeah, just not at the races at the moment. Morbidelli, I mean, he's about half a second slow on that last lap than this man.
Ahead of this man. Number 12, you can see Maverick Vinales, then it's Brad Binder, the likes of Vinales and Marc Marquez, and then Bagnaia behind them. The gap came down.
Made an overtake. Oh, somebody's down there at turn 10. There's a faller at turn 10.
It's is it Marc Marquez? It's in. World champion has crashed out. Good spot there, Matt. But Mark, unfortunately, the good news is he's absolutely.
He's never ever had 3 DNFs in a row in his career, Steve. An unwanted milestone then for some vital World Championship points into turn 10. Well, he got away with it 2 years ago when Jorge Lorenzo was all down and out again.
First rider into the 130. It was a shortcut at turns 1 and 2. That means he would have just outbraked himself. Yeah. Decided to pump it through. Zarco then the fastest man on circuit at the moment in 5th.
Can you believe it? He was looking good for a top 6 challenge here today. Wonder whether we could see Zarco just starting to really cut.
Binder and Pecco Bagnaia at this stage just struggling to maintain the pace of Espargaro and Vinales ahead of them, but a real mixed bag in terms of rear tyres, so you can't read too much into it at this early full of laps.
Quartararo was struggling to do 42s. The deviation between his lap times over the 4 race distance will change. Zarco is not going to win the game of braking there against Miller down into the first corner.
On board with Zarco yet again in 5th place. The gap at the front now for Miguel Oliveira is
just backing off this pace a little bit here, just to be wary about tyre life. The balance, as we've talked, key factor here in Barcelona, particularly on the right hand side of your tyre. The long, fast sweeping right at the start.
Miguel Oliveira on the factory KTM leading here in Barcelona. What a week it has been. So second to Fabio Quartararo, who's just in a world of his own. Can he?
Well, the only differential between the two of them in terms of tyres is Oliveira's got the hard front tyre, bringing confidence and feedback from the front tyre, and that's where Fabio Quartararo's so good. Where he wants, he's going to try and pick up some slipstream here behind the very rapid RC16. And certainly have another long lap penalty for not complying with the loss
for Taka Nakagami, and another disappointing weekend for the Japanese rider. So then at the front of this one, on board now with Fabio Quartararo. Acting 2, is it already tyre conservation mode for Mir? Because he got such a great start.
Both crashed out here. I was just wondering for how much longer a race could start. Turn 10's claimed another victim then. It's already taken Marc Marquez out of the race, so now it takes a lap. Pecco Bagnaia picks off Brad Binder. Vinales is lapping very quickly, as quick as they'll do. So, as it stands, Quartararo would take a 33-point lead in well aware here that he doesn't want to use too much tyre up, but he's going through on turn 5. You can see to edge grip than Oliveira. He was able to run the tyre to line, and then there was just enough of a gap there to fire up the inside quickly retaliate, because normally so far this year, bar the arm pump issue in Hereta course from Fabio Quartararo, can he now then use the power of that KTM, which does have a slight edge in top speed? He's now going to try, we'll keep our eyes peeled on it. Alex Rins is watching on his crew chief Manu there as well. As we cross the line, we'll be halfway over Miguel Oliveira, and that may well be enough for him not to be slipstreamed. It's the corner speed. No, he can't. It was just enough of a gap there that Quartararo got. He knew he had to do it, that Quartararo. He's normally so good at it. He did it last time out in Mugello against Zarco. Passed him on turn. Try and do the same here for Oliveira. Simon, your thoughts on the midway point of this Catalan Grand Prix?
Yeah, every time I was, even in Moto2 and again today, is how well he handles pressure. You know, he's around him. The other thing to consider is he's the only man in this front group, as you pointed out, Steve, and I want to know if that will come into play at the end of enough edge grip.
For the KTM man here now then. Oliveira's got the slipstream. Can he get up the inside in the braking zone? Fantastic stuff. This is more of a race than Fabio Quartararo was expecting. Fabio Quartararo around turn 3 on the approach to turn 4. Will it be a little look into turn? Be close enough this time around to lunge up the inside of Oliveira down the hill. Zarco's through on Jack Miller. Would be for Miguel Oliveira, where he able to pull it off. Ginormous feather in his cap, wouldn't it be? Espargaro family. It won't be a happy Sunday evening for the Espargaro boys, but he's a long way further around the corner than Marc Marquez was when his front time to the start-finish straight. These are the 5 on screen. With 10, he's super intelligent, super smart, they all are. But Miguel Oliveira, he marries right in front of Joan Zarco, Joan Mir. That start was absolutely... And we're getting to the phase of the Grand Prix here last September, Steve, where Mir was brilliant. he was here. Mir was having tyre problems. His problems though were a lot less than some of the other guys because that's his had grip issues himself. They just weren't quite as severe as the Yamahas and Ducatis around him. On Mir, not close enough. Lecuona's doing a fantastic job. Ika Lecuona. Shout out to him after the two crashes. He cannot get things going. Bastianini is 11th. Alex Marquez doing a great job. 12th ahead of Rossi. Merrill's in second place. Looking back from the world champion Suzuki X-Star machine briefly to Johan Zarco. Alan's up gear in 6th and he just eases on by. Blitzes Joan Mir's factory Suzuki. That's got to be... He'd have known it was coming and there's nothing he could do about it whatsoever. Interesting would lead to try and make life a bit more difficult for Johan Zarco, but there was no stopping the Bologna Bullet powering past on that last lap. Just over 3/10 they are split between the two. And there's Franco Morbidelli. Dry race appearance. Miller's gone through on Joan Mir now as well. Unfortunately, Mir's going the wrong under him. How do you get back onto super fast Ducatis? One rider who's done an incredible job the last couple of laps. In 6-7 for the last 4-5 laps. There he is. Yeah, he's back with this group now. Just found it behind him. This is fascinating, Matt. This is not the race we expected to unfold. Luckily, oh, Rossi's crashed. Rossi has crashed out here, and the disappointing season. He lost that.
Just the ride height device, guys.
The ride height device has gone in, but Rossi is out. Unfortunately, the stat sheet not looking too rosy at the Matt with 8 laps to go, because what is it going to be in a couple of laps' time, where really we have no idea. Or Vinales, I mean, Maverick Vinales has had some stunning rhythm, as Steve mentioned. I mean, look at that, compared to the Suzuki man. Is Mir in more trouble than we think, or has he got something? Gap from Miguel Oliveira and Quartararo to the two Ducatis is 1.3 seconds now. Vinales, big time. Not going to be easy to find a way through on Mir. Zarco and Miller ahead of him, but he still leads. We're just about to chalk off lap number 17 here. Yeah. In the slipstream behind the factory Suzuki of Joan Mir, who's so good on the brakes down to the first corner. Vinales just down Lecuona. An unlucky turn 13 for him. We were just saying he was on course for one of them. Good to see that he's relatively okay. So are these two now starting to really show their class with 7 laps to go. Still Bagnaia and Binder in 7th and 8th. They can't quite get close. Like, it's the battle between these two men. Oliveira versus Quartararo. Potent combination, a chance to give him the opportunity to win or on the podium here on Sunday. That's exactly as it's panned out. Turn 10. And lap times are dropping. There's 4 groups of 2 on screen at the third place. Onto the start-finish straight then. In between Miguel Oliveira on the KTM and Fabio Quartararo on the Yamaha. Yeah, Mir is struggling. There's no opportunity for Vinales to get through on the Suzuki man in the braking zone for the first. On the factory Ducati, 40.9 from Oliveira on that last lap. That's his slowest lap, and that gap's down to now just over 2/10 as we're on turn 5, lap 19. Helped certainly get it into a race-winning machine. Miguel knows all about that. Twice a winner himself already, of course. Last year with Brad Binder in Brno. Well, there might be a bit of payback coming here. He'd love to exact a bit of revenge on that defeat. He took his first ever Grand Prix P. Now, these are the tyres of Fabio Quartararo, who I can tell you, there's a lot of previous lap was a 40.9, that last lap was a 40.8. Quartararo himself. Intriguing race here in the Grand Prix of Catalunya. Films the fortunes of the Portuguese rider, who up until Italy hadn't even got in the top 10. 18 wheel at the moment, isn't he? Very nervous looking. Pit Byra with 5 laps remaining. Quartararo and his fellow Frenchman. Makes you wonder, Steve, these kind of performances from Miguel Oliveira. They've been busy in the transfer contract until the end of 2024. I don't think it's going to be too long before they re-up him with Oliveira. Just further back there you can see
Miguel is earning a few more dollars in that deal.
Bagnaia, because he's got rhythm to potentially close up on Mir and Vinales. And it's the crucial phase of it where the tyres are going to be deteriorating at a fairly rapid rate. You can't Bagnaia, he needed to do that about 4 or 5 laps ago. Jack Miller was the fastest of the top 4 last time around. Do not discount. It's taken 21 laps to do it. That's how good he's been in terms of speed and consistency. And at the show him that front wheel, look at that consistency from Oliveira. Stunning. How many 40-point... Quartararo struggling to stay with him at the moment. Quartararo not able to sort of get into that same rhythm he had yesterday in free practice. Yeah, he's in trouble. Zarco's right on top of him now. Can you believe this? Fabio Quartararo may well lose the podium. Given here for the World Championship leader, and of course Johan Zarco knows this is clawing back some ground in the championship. There's big risks here in this last sector. Just make sure you run the lines, hit your braking markers and stay to 6th gear. Fabio Quartararo doesn't look like he's winning the Catalan Grand Prix on that high speed hand side of Quartararo's front tyre, and in that right hand first corner the front just tucked from right underneath him. In the latter stages of this race, Jack Miller will do the same thing surely here as Johan Zarco here at Quartararo. This was earlier on, so he's a bit uncomfortable. He's got his leathers open there. What's going? Has got some sort of issues. He's taking his chest protector out there of his leathers.
Guys, is that
necklace and his bare chest? What's going on? What's happened to the leathers here? And the trouble is, can you believe it? I mean, he had his arm pump issues in Jerez. I've never seen anything like that. Like, there's Miller then up the inside. It will be a block pass. He will move up into third place. And the man who was favoured. What's happened to the leathers of Fabio Quartararo? Answers on a postcard, please. Combination of the leathers and the fading front tyre grip, whatever it is, that's his biggest problem. He's desperately trying in terms of this either, because it's not safe, is it? Let's be honest. No. I don't know whether there's any. I honestly think, Matt, that Fabio Quartararo, he's not completely done. He's not got this in the bag just yet. We're getting you, ladies and gentlemen, that Johann Zarco has not won a MotoGP race. This is 73rd attempt. Great speed. They drop down the hill into the last couple of corners. We're going to start the last lap. There's half a second between Miguel Oliveira. Will it be black flag? Will there be a DQ? It's all down to the last lap then. Oh, the final place on the podium. Johann Zarco. Will we be closing Miguel Oliveira? Yeah, and how ironic this would be if Zarco beats the factory KTM. RC16 for love and money, could he? A couple of years ago when he left KTM halfway through a 2-year contract. The moment of his MotoGP career right now. What is the gap in the second sector? It's down to under 4/10. This is where we've got to keep an eye on it then on the approach to turn 10. He doesn't look like he's close enough right now, Johann Zarco. Quartararo, no he can't. Miguel Oliveira, normally in these situations, mentally is like granite. Got a 3-second penalty. His podium has gone. The checkered flag is out, and it looks like this one is Miguel Oliveira's. It will be close across the line, but Miguel Oliveira wins on the factory KTM here. Finished third with a penalty. Miller moves up one spot, but take a bow, Miguel Oliveira. But he will not be on the podium. A 3-second penalty coming the way of the Frenchman. He's lost crucial World Championship GP podiums, his 8th runner-up spot. But Miguel Oliveira, absolutely brilliant. Front tyre we saw was graining badly as well. Danny Pedrosa, so much credit needs to go. This is how it stands then. The gap at the top has been cut. Incredible. I don't think that's right. That championship standings, that's wrong. Yeah. That graphic is wrong. He was